back. You're on the Thairish Sun, and today we are on Khao Takiab Beach near Hua Hin. So it's certainly a lot calmer here. We were just on the other side of that rock there where it was dead windy. The water looked quite rough, didn't it? The tide was really super far in. So we've come to the other side, and this is where Khao Takiab Beach begins and Hua Hin has ended. That's the first time I've driven through Khao Takiab now on my way here, and it seemed like a really nice little smallish beach town. Khao Takiab is a small fishing village directly south of Hua Hin. In fact, where one begins, the other ends, and they are separated just by one rock called Chopsticks Hill. Loads and loads of seafood here. This is a fishing village, Khao Takiab, and there is a real fresh seafood smell down here. Plenty of seafood restaurants and eateries. There's the boats that I assume they take out every morning, do their fishing, get back here, give the fish to their missus, and get them sold in the restaurants. So if you're a seafood fanatic, this seems like a place that would definitely be on your to-do list. So Khao Takiab has its own temple, Wat Khao Takiab, and it's right by the beach. You see the water's just there and we're in the temple, but what's more noteworthy than that is the fact that here I just saw a pig walking off, a couple of chickens, and literally thousands and thousands, or certainly hundreds and hundreds of monkeys. They are everywhere. So the majority of them actually aren't in this section. They were on the hill on the way up, but I'm not exaggerating when I say hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. They were everywhere, and I pulled up because I didn't realise there was going to be so many. Thought there was just 3 or 4, and while I was getting the camera out to tape them, next thing I realised there was about 150 of them around me, so I took off very quickly. There's a souvenir shop here as well at the Wat Khao Takiab, which is up the hill after you've driven through the fishing village that Khao Takiab is. This guy is called Yak, and if you're ever in a bad mood, type people will say, if you talk too much, yak, 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 yak. I get called Yak quite a lot because I've got a grumpy face, and that's who it is. It's kind of Buddha's bodyguard in simplistic terms. If you actually know about Buddhism, then probably say what I just said is wrong, but sort of monkey free in this section. Lovely view of the beach as it stretches away from us. So it's an observation I've made before on the channel that does bear mentioning again, and I do tend to put these temples in places with tremendous locations. Look at that, tremendous. This certainly feels more like the real Thailand Hua Hin in general actually has that vibe. When you get off the motorway, the roads are all sort of like, well, like this. Not quite country roads, but no tarmac pavements and no lines down the middle, no cat's eyes, stuff like that. Sort of small roads with stuff on either side. And there's speed bumps all over the place as well, so once you get off the dual carriageway you are expected to drive a bit slower around Hua Hin. Khao Takiab actually has two temples, and this one is situated at the bottom of the hill that we were just up. Slightly more traditional looking, this one. I'm getting a good sniff in here, aren't I? Am I getting a good sniff in? Do I smell good or what? Guys, want a bit of love, don't you? Just want a little bit of love. Yeah. Good boy, good girl. In fact, you might even say that Khao Takiab has three temples, depending on whether this one falls on or over the line of where Hua Hin starts and Khao Takiab ends. I'm not 100% sure. But it's another temple. If you didn't want to live in there, it isn't hustle and bustle, but if you didn't want to live amongst all the people in Hua Hin, you could just come a couple of kilometres south and what is, on first impressions at least, a nicer beach. And it's a hell of a long beach as well. It goes all the way down. The tide's a little bit too far in down that side, but you can walk 4 or 5 kilometres down there to the next community. Couple of ladies doing some surfing there. Well, they would do if some waves came. The other side of this rock was a lot rougher, but maybe not best suited to surfing. A lot of surfers here today just sort of hanging out, waiting for that right wave to come. I don't think they're going to be getting too much joy by the looks of things. Pretty calm. But there's a lot of them there, so it must be a good spot for surfing. So we're at the start of the Khao Takiab Beach here. Hua Hin Beach ends on the other side of that rock, which I believe is called Chopsticks Hill. Khao Takiab is a town directly south. I mean, they one begins where the other ends, but let's say it's a couple of kilometres south of Hua Hin. It looks like those girls are paddling in super shallow water, but maybe it does get deeper than it looks. I came in shoes and socks today because I was planning on running home. I was going to walk all the way here and then run home back to the bike, but the tide was so far in that I had to change plans. It wasn't this beach I was going to do today, and it looks again like the tide down there is too far in for me to... There you go, someone got a wave. But it does look like the tide's too far in down there for me to walk this beach either. But we'll give you a rough idea. So sand-wise, it's not the fluffy white sand you get in Koh Samui. It's quite hard, more clay or mud-like, but clean. No litter down here really, or rubbish. And no seaweed, and that water does look pretty fresh. Always difficult to judge the water based on one day, because living in Lamai, I can tell you there's days when I go down and the water is just brown, looks like sewerage, and you think there's no way I'm getting in that. And if it was your first time seeing it, you think it was awful, and then the very next day you come down and it'll be crystal clear. You can't wait to jump in. So plenty of eateries here on the right and businesses that we were walking past then as I was talking. And again, plenty of public access points by the looks of things. Each soi, I believe where them cars are was soi 7 or 8 of this area. I parked on soi 1. Each one has a public access point, and that is a really nice thing, because because I can tell you in Phuket, in Samui, in most touristy places in Thailand, hotels build along the beach and then they put security guards there to stop you from getting to them. And you might be lucky if there's 1 or 2 access points. A lot of the time you'll have to walk through a business, buy something in order to get onto that beach and see it. Not the case here in Hua Hin or Khao Takiab. Yeah. These are nice beginner waves. When I went surfing in Australia for the first time, these are the sort of waves that we were trying to hit. Okay. Got my feet wet for the first time right now, and I could tell you that compared to Samui, it's a little bit icy. Living in Phuket and Samui's made me a real softie when it comes to swimming in the sea. I used to swim back in Ireland. I used to swim in the summers, but when I first moved to Australia, I used to think it was real nice because my reference was Ireland, right? And then when I moved to Phuket, Samui, last time I went to Oz, couldn't really go in beyond my knees. I thought it was absolutely freezing. Thailand has really made me a softie. But that actually feels a bit icy for me now, but I need to man up and get into it for sure.
So that's where we'll leave it for this week, but in the next episode I'll be right back here on Khao Takiab Beach as we take an 8 to 10 kilometre walk from here down past Suan Son Beach and on towards an area called Secret Beach. Please do subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss that. Have a wonderful week and catch you next time.